Greetings and welcome to Growth Hacking Secrets. I'm your host, Mohammed Siddique from Atlanta, Georgia, and the co author of New Success Secrets available on Amazon. On this episode, we have a special guest, Adam King. Adam is the host of the B2B Growth Think Tank podcast. Please join me to give a warm welcome to our guest, Adam King. Adam, welcome.
Hey, Mohammed, thank you very much for inviting me. Great to be here.
Thank you so much. So, Adam, let me start with this. Where were you? What happened? Who you were surrounded with that inspired you to start your podcast, B2B Growth Think Tank?
Well, what inspired me to start the podcast, I guess, is I'm a natural introvert, and we're all being told that it's a good idea to put yourself out there and to be all over the place and all the rest of it. And I just never was comfortable with that whole, what I feel is kind of a world of extroverts and selfies on social media and all that kind of thing, because I'm not the extrovert and I don't really like taking selfies. And, you look at my personal social media channels, I think the only thing that I update is saying thanks very much for the birthday messages, because it's just not me. It's not my thing. And I realized that what I really love doing is connecting with people, learning from people, having great, interesting conversations with people. And I found that the podcast, and I listen to so many podcasts, and I just thought, why on earth don't I just try this? I'm going to start it. And it's been probably the best thing I've done for my business, in my business, and just in general, to be honest, because I've got to connect and have conversations with people that I would never necessarily have been able to connect and have those conversations with.
No, that's a great purpose. Thank you. That's a great story, Adam. Based on your experience of doing, you have done almost over 100 episodes.
Yeah, there's over 100 episodes, and the B2B Growth Think Tank is an evolution of the original show, which was the Client Catching podcast, and I've evolved it a little bit more to reflect where I want to take the show, and also a little bit around where I'm taking my own business. But really, it's about coming up with actionable ideas and solutions, because we have listeners sending in challenges, and my guest and I will basically put them on what we call the virtual hot seat and mastermind and brainstorm actual solutions to that particular challenge. And the idea being that there are many people out there which will have similar kind of challenges and be able to learn from the insight between myself and the guest that is on the show at that particular time.
That's a great concept, by the way, and you're engaging people, they're sending their challenges, so that way, eventually, however, they are tuning in themselves and their close contacts are tuning in, to watch it.
Yes.
Wonderful. This is good. So based on your experience of, of running this B2B think tank, I like to ask you some tough questions and try to get your wisdom from you, steal it with your permission, of course. It's not so are you okay with that?
Fire away. Absolutely. Fire away.
So, Adam, what are your top 3 missteps to avoid when you want to grow a business based on your experience?
So I think some of the big one is that trying to do it all yourself. Now, if you're just starting or you are the kind of person that starts, I primarily work with service-based businesses, so they tend to be started by someone that is an expert in what they do. They take so much of the ownership around it and try and do everything themselves, and they find it difficult to actually relinquish either some of the control or some of the tasks or the daily activities. And I say that because yours truly here was, is a prime example of it. That, not wanting to really surrender some of that control, but also asking for help and being vulnerable enough to actually trust the people around you. And I think some of that for me came, I guess, an arrogance of youth when I was, starting this and sort of a little bit beforehand as well. And I think some of that, you mentioned wisdom. This is my wisdom, I guess, that comes with age. You realize that you are not an island and you cannot do it all on your own. You do need those connections and you do need help from others. So that's the first mistake, is trying to sort of do it all on your own. I think the second mistake is thinking that you know exactly what your clients or your customers actually want. Because if you make the assumptions, there's that old saying, assumptions make an ass out of you and me, that kind of thing. It's, if you make the assumptions, then you can go down a real rabbit hole of creating things, marketing services, marketing a business, and not doing it in a way that actually connects with a client, and not doing it in a way that actually inspires action and movement and motivates them to do something different, which is ultimately to go for the transformation that your business ultimately provides. So it's all about, my business is Think Like a Fish, and the metaphor is that you really need to understand your fish, your clients, because as much as you may love chocolate cake, you're not going to catch them if you stick that on your hook, because fish loves worms, right? So you need to understand what it is they love. So it's really, the second mistake is really all about making too many assumptions and thinking you know what your clients want. Go and ask them, go and talk to them. You make that part of your process. And I think that the other sort of mistake is not having a clear path or a process around how you deliver a result for a client. Because if you're doing things piecemeal and one by one and customized and all that kind of thing, it's very difficult to be able to guarantee a result or be able to predictably provide a result unless you know that there are certain steps and certain stages that a client needs to go through in order to achieve the ultimate end result that they want. So I think that until you actually have that in place, it's very difficult to go out into the marketplace and say, hey, we can get you this result, unless you can actually illustrate and show that clear path from point A to point B and the steps and the stages that you take them through in order to achieve that result.
Oh, this is great wisdom, man. I'm so glad you are on this call with us today.
Oh.
So, Adam, I'm sure this was never always like this, because you learned with over a period of 100 episodes, and also running as a Think Like a Fish business analogy. I love your analogy, and that's also your business name too. So, do you mind sharing one single your failure? What did you learn from that, and how did you recover from it?
I'll be honest, it's probably hard to just think of one, because I think that business is a game of failure, but it's a game of learning from those failures. I mean, a funny one that I can remember, this is going back to my corporate days when I was running marketing departments, and I had we were operating a CRM system, and it was linked both to the autoresponder side of it, but also the internal communications. And I sent an internal communication to the entire database, and I got hauled in by the CEO and said, what the hell have you done? We're getting people coming, clients coming back and all the rest of it. But actually it turned out to be a real blessing, because it led to about 2 million in business. Because what happened was, in that internal communication, I was talking to the management team and all the rest of it about how we needed to really, again, get to understand our clients more. Why don't we do a lot more engagement with them and with the market, actually talk to them? Why don't we do interviews? Why don't we find out what's going on in their world, all that kind of thing? And I sent that out to the entire database. But what happened was, there was a couple of people that had been prospects that had been sort of and this was a big consultancy firm at the time. They came back and they said, we absolutely loved, even though that clearly wasn't, because I had to send a redactment kind of email that went out. Obviously that wasn't meant for us, but if that is the kind of thing that you're sending internally, we'd love to have a conversation. And 2 of those turned into, large contracts. So that was a failure that was turned into an opportunity. Just an example.
Hopefully that was a pre-social media time, because these days internal communication is out. There's so much memes going on all over.
Absolutely. Is it the Elon Musk stuff that goes around and all that kind of thing? It's quite funny.
Yeah. Oh, wonderful. Thank you so much for sharing great wisdom in that too. So let's switch the side. Let's talk about some success secrets, and give us your top 3 success secrets. Don't be stingy. Give us your best ones. Okay.
No. So I think that when it comes to growing a business, I think the first thing to understand is there's more than one way to skin a cat. And a lot of businesses will look at things and go, right, okay, I just need to generate more leads, or I just need more clients. Whereas actually the real underlying issue there is that we need to generate more revenue. So there's more than one way to generate revenue than acquiring more clients. So the first thing I would start to look at is, where are all the leverage points within your business that you can pull to generate revenue that you wouldn't necessarily have ever considered. And new clients is just one of them. There are multiple areas. It's like, yes, marketing and lead generation is one, but increasing the value of a customer on the initial sale, increasing the back end opportunity to sell more to them, increasing your profit margins, doing, I know you're a big component, a big advocate of this, joint venture deals with other businesses that offer different services that you can refer and recommend to, and you can generate revenue on the back of that. I call that your solution tackle box, for example. There's so many more ways of generating revenue in a business that people don't necessarily even consider, and they're focusing on a very narrow part to try and solve a problem that really can be solved in multiple different ways. And it's not just going down the whole, I need a new marketing tactic route, or I need to generate more leads. So that's the first thing. I'd really start to take a real holistic look at your business and look at some of the things in there and the big levers that you can pull. The second one is systems, like systems. Having them in your business is crucial if you want to grow beyond a particular level. Systems for how you do everything, systems that your staff will follow, systems that you take clients through, systems for how you generate clients and leads and all that kind of stuff. You need to have a process where you can clearly articulate literally how you take, if we're just talking marketing or sales, for example, how you first of all attract the attention of a potential ideal client. Then what is that hand raising offer that you put in front of them so that they are interested enough to come into what I call your ecosystem? How do you then nurture that relationship over time until you are presenting them something that is so irresistible that makes them want to reach out and have a conversation with you? How do you conduct those conversations so that you provide value at the same time as generating a sale? What do you do after this? Blah, blah, blah. It can go on and on and on, but you need to understand that if you don't have those systems, and especially if you've got more than one person in your business, everyone's going to do things differently, and you're going to get a different result every single time. So that would be my second. And I think the third would be, it really is understanding that it is far easier to make a compelling offer than it is. It's far easier to make a compelling argument than it is to win an argument. And that's what a lot of people are doing with their marketing. So the offer is everything. Like, it is the number one differentiator. It's the number one, I believe, thing that will allow you to win new business. It's not the service you provide. And that's what so many people make the mistake of talking about. What is the service that you provide? I provide financial advice. I'm an accountant. I'm a marketing consultant, whatever it may well be. That's what you do. It's not the offer that you provide. And you need to have multiple different offers at each stage of your client journey to entice somebody to take that next step in the journey that you want them to take. So I don't sell marketing services. That's not what I do. I help established B2B and service businesses add an additional 500,000 in revenue to their business in 12 months, and I guarantee the results. Like, that's an offer.
Yeah.
So it's an example of doing things differently so that you communicate the actual result that you get and do it in a way that is different.
Yeah, because client, they are buying into the results. They're not talking about the activities,
Yeah.
So
They don't care about me. I know they don't. They want to know what they'll get.
yeah, wonderful. Thank you, Adam. I really appreciate very much how the Growth Hacking Secrets community people are watching this now can support you.
Well, I guess the one thing I can do, I've written a book that's called Conversational Relationship Marketing, and I'm doing something different with it. And it is that I am looking to get the information and the strategies inside that book into as many people's hands as possible. I'm not even asking for an opt-in, and I literally give away the house in that book with templates and basically step by step of how you essentially use a platform like LinkedIn to start and continue conversations with people you can either do business with, add value to, or collaborate with for a mutual win-win. So I don't ask for an opt-in for that. There's an audiobook version of it as well that's available. And I am literally just wanting to get that into the hands of as many people as possible because of what's happened recently with the the global pandemic and all the rest of it. That is for me just to try and get it into as many people's hands as possible. So if you go to thinklikeafish.co.uk/, what did I call it, GHS, so thinklikeafish.co.uk GHS, you'll see a page there that has that book on, and you can get that book, but also please go ahead and share it with as many people as possible. You'll see it's a bit different because I do it in a Google Doc in order to continue to update the book. And also there's the audio version that is available as well for people like me that like to listen as they do other things. So yeah, to help as many people as possible, spread that as far and wide as people can.
Wonderful, wonderful. thinklikeafish.co.uk/GHS. No opt-in required. Just get the book.
Nope.
It's a Google Doc and help him to improve the book too, because it's all we are working together to make something better happen. And
absolutely. I even ask in the book, please give me feedback. Let me know how you're getting on and if you've got any questions, because I am constantly looking to improve. And maybe that's the final word and a sort of secret is always be looking to improve. Always be asking for feedback from others, from your market, etc., because you will learn far more from them than you ever will sitting in your office trying to figure it all out yourself.
Yes, wonderful, wonderful. Thank you. thinklikeafish.co.uk. So go ahead and visit and get the book for free without any opt-in. Okay, and he is asking you to share it with everybody too. So thank you so much. Adam King, we are about to wrap up. I like to ask this question to almost every guest as a kind of review or testimony for your today's experience. What would you say about your today's guest experience and Growth Hacking Secret Show?
Yeah, it's been great fun. I think that if you want to be sort of challenged to think of some of the things that you have ultimately not really spent much time thinking about, like some of the questions, it's been all about sort of, what have I learned? What are the, and to condense it into something, and to be able to go back and listen to a number of other people that have been asked a similar sort of questions. There's going to be an insane amount of value and wisdom. So go back and listen to all the others and it's been a great format. I've really enjoyed it. Thank you.
Thank you for your kind words. Really appreciate it. What would you say as a final word?
I think I did myself there and gave you my final word before before the final word. But I think just to reiterate, really, it's all about lifelong learning, and it's all about constantly striving to improve. Don't be afraid of actually changing. Don't be afraid of evolving. Don't be afraid of trying new things, because there is no real thing, certainly in this game, failure does not exist unless you stop trying.
Yeah, failure does not exist until you stop trying. So never quit. That's the lesson. Life is learning is forever. That's the life.
Absolutely.
So,
Absolutely.
Lifelong student. Thank you so much, Adam King, for sharing your wisdom with us today. On the behalf of Growth Hacking Secrets community and our entire team, we really appreciate you. This is Mohammed Siddique signing off from Atlanta, Georgia. Until the next episode, all good wishes.
Thank you very much.